Welcome to the Nailed It Wall.
On this week's episode of the Nailed It Wall, we are joined by drama royalty.
Drama mamas.
Drama mamas. You're going to enjoy this. We're going to talk about the history of the Sierra Verde drama department, the play Frozen, and we're going to find out who are these masked magicians behind the scenes. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome to episode 33 of the Nailed It Wall. This is the Larry Bird episode. I'm Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And I'm Mrs. Schofield.
I'm Mrs. Surjack.
And I'm Mrs. Rudisell Hunter.
Well, this is truly an honor to have the brains behind the operation sit down with us here.
I agree.
But as we start every episode, we want to start off with our Nailed It of the week. Now, Mrs. Schofield, you said you want to defer to me?
Yes, you go ahead first.
All right. Well, I think mine nailed it. I had first grade in here today, and we did the Dash robots. Now, if you don't know what the Dash robots are, there's these they're creeping you out today as they were charging.
Have you heard them speak? They're really creepy. They're like, "Hi, you're my favorite person." It's like, really, it's not cool.
It's truly like that.
It
so
is, yeah.
I had a class of 25 first graders. They came in. At first, it was just like utter chaos. They're like, I can't connect to my robot. I can't connect. And then the robots are talking. They're like, you're my favorite friend.
It's really odd.
And
It's like my worst nightmare is like mimes. And yeah, it's weird. Anyway.
and I went through this like 30-second phase where I just took all the robots and just wanted to throw them in the trash and be like, all right, we're scrapping this. We're going to do something else.
Get the blocks out.
Yes. but they rallied, and we had this awesome thing. We created this thing called Square Dance. They had to code the robots to do a square, and at the end, they had to make it dance.
That's
and
cute.
It was,
That is super
it was pretty fun, but there was a point there where I was like, just looking at myself, I felt like Detective John Kimball in Kindergarten Cop, where it's like, it's not a tumor.
That's exactly.
feel your pain.
I feel that all the time, and I teach 8th grade, so it's universal.
So that was definitely my nailed it right there of the week.
Okay. Oh, so am I going?
Yeah, we're going
okay.
to you.
All right. Well, I want to do a nailed it for a good thing. And so yesterday, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but for Theater 1-2 at Ridge, the class has to put on a production, and it's all these little mini scenes. I don't know what it's called, but there's a name for that kind of thing. And I have a real issue with it, though, because it was all my daughter had to be broken up with multiple times in these skits, and my girl just barely stopped playing with American Girl dolls. So I'm just saying, I did not care for this conversation, but it was amazing. And it was Will was in it, and Jaden was in it, and all of these kids that have been in your drama program. And I'll have to tell you later about the one that Will did. It was incredible. But
We like to go to those.
yeah, it was really, really quite cool. And I didn't know what it was. Ella kind of told me last minute, and it was just mind-blowing what that drama department's doing. And that's just Theater 1-2. And so, we see what they end up doing with that.
I think my favorite part was that you want to go on stage and punch every kid that was breaking up with your
I
daughter.
was very upset. Like, I don't see my daughter in those roles. So I was like, what do you mean you don't like her? What do you, like, I was getting really feisty. Like, and I knew it was pretend, but she was very believable.
Drama mama.
So, yeah, I was a drama mama. I was getting very feisty.
I wonder where she learned that.
Yeah, I don't know. Brendan actually crushed it. Oh my gosh, that kid is in his element. Brendan Dykstra.
Yes.
Yeah, really thriving up there. So it was really special. But I did have a failed it that I didn't say last time. So after our whole drama show, which we'll talk about, everybody got to have decompression time, right? On Saturday, we're all kind of like meltdown mode. And so I was just bitter Betty because I'm in this online class. And so I had a paper to write. But I don't know if you remember, but when I go to show week, I had my computer out every night and I'm doing my readings, and I read the whole lesson 3, and it was for lesson 4 that I had to write my paper. So Saturday, when I thought I was caught up and ready to write, I did not. I didn't. So I majorly failed it. So yeah, it was a fun little. So I'm reading all the happy texts that are going back and forth, people's smiling faces, and everybody's all relaxing. It sounds like, and I was a little bit cranky. So anyway, but I rallied. It's all fine. So how about you, Rudisell Hunter? Do you have a hyphen? I need to know. Is there a hyphen?
No, there's no
like a
hyphen.
slash.
No, it's a slash.
It's a slash.
Okay. It's not a
I'm
strike
going
through?
through something.
Okay, all right. All right, go, girl, go.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably be my biggest fail because I
Can't decide which name to get.
Oh, well, yeah. My husband's going to help me decide, I'm sure, but it'll eventually be Hunter, sorry.
That was my fault. I spoke. My bad. Yeah.
So, yeah, hasn't happened yet. So, what are we supposed to do now?
So what's your nailed it?
we're going to go together on this. Sir Jack and I will go together and say that from last Monday's first actual total run through, I don't know if you want to call it that, really.
I was wondering.
It was
We muddled.
painful.
It had some rough edges.
Ooh.
Yeah, like
a
jagged,
lot.
rough edges.
Holding
But
note cards.
it did turn out.
Singing with words.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Our
Some
first
holding
clean
note
run
cards.
through was show night.
Yes,
Thursday. There
it
you
was.
go.
But you know what? It really was. Everybody got their lines. It was all perfect, and that's the one that got recorded. So
Yeah.
it was a win.
It was a win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. So were you nervous at all before that? Yeah. Just
No.
We just know that it always comes together no matter where it's at. This one may be a little bit more than others, but we knew it happened. The
Yeah, we
magic
did.
happens.
oh my gosh, it was so magical.
It's you get all jazzed when you get out there. You get just jazzed. You know.
And when
It's
we had the
jazzy.
space to ourselves.
Yeah, that was a
Made a
huge
huge
help. Yeah, like actually having that space. So how about you? What was
So
yours?
I'm going to just add on the nailed it too, just be going along the lines of the play where somebody decided that they might want to just sprinkle some glitter around the stage. So that might have been a little failed it on her part, but I got a hold of some and might have gotten into her classroom. Nailed it!
I had
Well
no
played.
idea what that text strand was for today. And I'm like, I know I missed something. I knew I had missed something. Oh, so you did a little extra love sprinkling.
Maybe it was me.
Yeah.
Somebody.
That makes
Breaking
a
news
lot
here
more
on the
sense.
Nailed It wall.
Yes, I do. I like that very much. Okay. That's
Now,
good.
Ms. Surjak, give us a quick rundown of like your career. How did you get into education? How long have you been teaching? Tell us your grade levels. What do you love about teaching?
What do I love?
Drop it on us.
I teach kindergarten, and then go to the big kids for drama, and then even bigger kids for staff drama. But
Nope.
I
No offense taken.
no, none, not at all. I actually got my first degree in speech communication, and then I did not like the working world. So I then started working at a daycare center, and then after I had and raised my children and they became school age, I went back for my education degree. So I started at a later time, had some life skills, been in kindergarten for 19 years, all of my teaching career, and just love them. Something's different every day. They love to be here. They love me. They love their teacher, and it's just it's a
We
nice
love their
little
teacher.
It's just a nice little bubble to be in. So every day I still love to come to work after all these years.
Now, how long have you been at Sierra Verde? Are you one of the originals?
I am
like,
not.
You are not.
It's third year.
And it's third year. So what is that? Like 16 years? Like
So this is the 17th.
17th year? Wow.
Yeah. I
You're-
know.
A lot of numbers.
I almost feel like you're like a bought in, like OG, you know,
Right.
that you should be one of those part of
The
that.
original.
Very good.
I about am.
All right, Rudicel Hunter, what's your
All
story?
right.
Lay
We
it
can
on
just
us.
Stick with Hunt. I don't know what you want to call it. So I came to Arizona in 2001 and interviewed here. My very first interview at anything had them rolling. So they were
weird.
like, "We
Shocker.
want her." I'm like, "Okay, great. I can just, I had no previous. Well, actually, I did work in an Amish school for 7 years.
I would pay good money to get footage of that right there. Like that could be a reality
Cell
show.
phones didn't exist.
No.
I would pay good money. Like yeah.
I have stories. But anyway,
oh my gosh, yes, you would.
So I interviewed here, and then it was for 4th grade. So I've taught 3rd through 6th, and I've been here since 2001. So like what, 2nd year it opened? And then, but I did leave for a couple years, and I went to another school to try it out because an opportunity falls in your lap for a reason. So you kind of think there's a reason for it, but then I just kept being called back home because I was still doing drama because
Wouldn't let her stop.
that's our baby.
Wouldn't let her stop.
So, but then I came back here, and I've taught 6th grade for half of my career, 6th grade math, and for some reason I love it.
Yeah, for
I love
some
6th
reason.
graders. I think they're fun because they get the joke, but they also get the rules. So I have a lot of fun in there, and I do try my hardest. But math is not the easiest thing to teach. So
How many different math approaches have you had to adopt since you've started teaching math?
you mean different curriculums?
Yeah, like
4 or
Okay.
5. And then there's mine.
Yeah. Because that's got to be so tough, you know? Like, you get your rhythm, and then, you know.
Some of them I haven't appreciated. So I do appreciate what we're doing now.
Yeah, it seems.
But through the years, I learned different techniques on how to teach, you know, to get to those kids. So I feel like I really do try really hard to teach it to the way each kid learns it, which is not always easy.
Well, I told you, Ella is good at math, and Ella loves math, but she has always said that you are her favorite and best math teacher that she's ever had, because she said that you could teach math in a way that she understood it, and you were passionate about it. And so forever, she will always say,
Oh, that's so
you
sweet.
know, so that, you know, and Ella's kind of she's had some math teachers, so good for you, you know.
Now, I feel like there's a whole nother podcast on the Amish paradise.
I'm dying to
like,
know.
you know,
I want to know, like,
like,
did you wear certain clothes?
you know, I was like,
oh
I feel like we're going to this rabbit hole. Like, but I want to shelf that for now.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
how many years were you MIA from SV?
2.
2 years, and was it the drama that kind of sucked you back in?
That
And
and
me.
home. And
Yeah.
Sir Jack, this is home.
Yeah.
If you work here, you know this.
Yeah,
That
I
this
agree.
is like complete
Like,
home.
how did drama call the two of you, though? Like, how did you, like, did you get sucked in, or did you, like, go towards it, like, on your own? Like,
Yeah,
did,
tell us the history. Like,
Yeah.
how did it get started?
You wanna start?
Jenny Dingledine was the original.
Great
I'm
name.
sorry, what?
Music. And she was the music teacher.
She was a music teacher. How
Isn't
perfect was
that
that?
Oh my gosh,
My
you told me
goodness.
she wore jingle bells. Like, that's the most
cute.
amazing.
Yeah, her
What a
earrings matched her
name.
sweater, which
Yeah.
matched her.
Wow.
She was lovely, and
changing my name.
she decided to do Annie,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time we didn't even have sound system. It was just project or you're not going to be heard, and I wasn't involved. We weren't involved at all.
Was this kids or adults, or she knew it was going to
Just
be both?
kids.
Okay,
Just
just
kids.
kids. Okay.
And then I
In
guess
fact,
we
it was an assembly. We
Right, it
had
was
an
an
assembly
assembly.
where they put on a few numbers for the whole school.
okay.
And then we got we just talked about this was Wizard of Oz.
it was
our
Grease.
first Grease, and we
was
used to
Grease.
do just snippets as a staff at a spaghetti dinner. Like we full on spaghetti dinner show. You can't get that anywhere else. And then that was
Like,
that
the people
was a
have to
rough
pay
time.
for this, or was it like at
Yes.
someone's house?
They paid $10 into ticket, so it had to be
dinner
prior
theater.
to-
It was dinner
yes.
theater, right?
So if you didn't buy prior to, you didn't come. So
Wow.
Right. And then I don't remember how it morphed into let's do the whole show. Like
I know it.
when did that happen?
Shrek.
Shrek was Shrek
Really?
the first
Shrek
one?
was the first one we did the full.
Because who couldn't?
Because we couldn't cut out. There was something we couldn't. We always like to cut out and save something left to the imagination for the student show, so that we weren't doing the whole thing. But when we got to that one, there was just no place.
We were like, let me at it.
Yeah, we just couldn't, and from then on, we really haven't cut out anything.
Except this year, I saved, for many reasons, some of the scenery and lighting that we're going to be doing.
Which we always used to do that until the last couple of years. It wasn't a full panels done and things like that.
We had so much going on our teacher stage that I don't think we needed
No, we
anything
didn't.
else to look at.
And it really, we didn't even have curtains or anything.
No, in fact, Wizard of Oz, it was these. It was like the panels, which what is that? What is
It's
it?
insulation.
Insulation.
Yeah. So, and it was they were standing by these little blocks. So when we did Wizard of Oz, which was the second show, one of the panels fell, but it happened to fall right at the moment that the Munchkins were to put the ruby slippers on Dorothy. So the audience didn't see it. All of a sudden, the slippers were on her, and they were like, "Wow!" Because their eyes were on the panel falling.
And let's be honest, we were so professional that during hand jive, that we go to, what's the last song in
last one.
Greece?
Oh,
we wrote
Grease.
it on our hands. We
did.
were like, we don't know the
We
words,
go
so
together like
Yeah.
ram, lam, lam,
Yeah, we
dinky,
were,
dinky, dong.
That
We were like this.
people paid for that. I mean, you're welcome for the entertainment.
Now, what was the crowd for the spaghetti dinner? Was it like
full.
It was
big.
full.
It was
Yeah.
full, but they had like the benches sat like tables, so
And then-
I mean it was still full, but probably not as many people that you could fit.
Yeah.
So I guess our intermission was between, because we didn't do the whole thing, it was between the spaghetti dinner, cleaning that up, and then us. But that was when Dingledine was still
Here.
here, and so I just started helping her out, like volunteering because she asked me to talk to whoever was the Scarecrow because that's what I was. We auditioned for that too. I'm like, what?
And we were given the parts. We had to.
I wanted to be the Wicked Witch. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little disappointed.
I don't know how this is going to sound, but I can see you as the Wicked Witch.
I
and I
know.
hope that you know that is a compliment.
100%.
Yeah, I just want you to know. Yeah.
But then she retired and she said, "It's yours now." And I was like, "What?" So then Sir Jack was like, "Anything I can do?" I was, and it just sort of morphed into whatever she does that I have no idea, and
whatever she does that I have no idea.
And it comes together.
I cannot believe that up until Shrek, it was something so different. And you know, the first show I ever saw was Shrek because that was the first year we got here.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know anything.
We
prior
got
to that.
videos.
We do.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
I mean, it's
I
just a
do.
matter of like Peter Pan. We didn't have the Little Mermaids on there, so it'd be just like scenes or two that were omitted.
But it's so
purpose.
interesting. Yeah.
Now, how did you get the staff? So what year was Shrek? So can we go in order? Let's see. Let's do our plays. All right.
We looked at pictures, but we started with we were part of the staff shows on Grease, Wizard of Oz, and then it was that
These are all spaghetti
Romeo
dinners,
and
right?
Harriet.
Did we do
pardon
that?
me?
These are all spaghetti dinners ones.
These are the
Yeah.
but there was not a staff show for Romeo and Harriet, and then
It's a spoof on Romeo and Juliet.
yeah, and then that's where we took over because then it was Cinderella was our first year.
Oh, Lord.
And we weren't sure what we were doing, so we researched things. We didn't really ask questions to what Dingle did before that.
She did say, "You better stick with the company that gives you the whole thing," because
Yeah, no, we didn't.
yeah, we were like, "No, we got this."
We found a script for $5 that you could
We
print
thought
by
that was-
yourself.
we thought we
it
were
was
It's like a
Look
Teachers
at
Pay
us.
Teachers, like the original.
Right. We still actually have that script. And then it was Micah who actually put all of our little sounds together and actually made a CD of
Because
the
we had live.
audio.
We did an organist came in.
Yes, pianist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Wizard
because
of Oz,
remember,
too. That was the song.
because I missed my second verse
I
because
know,
I,
and I'm
messed
like,
up.
oh, my line's next. And she didn't finish her song.
I didn't get to say Dingadary. Now I'm saying it.
How
Dingadary.
long have
You're
the
looking at the wrong
Larneds
hand.
been part of? Because they seem like
From the beginning,
They're
before us.
the
Yeah,
originals.
right?
They're
Yeah.
OG.
So Alexandra, their oldest, was part of Tech Crew from the beginning.
so that's a huge asset for you guys to have that
yes.
in there.
They just
do
kind of
really
know. They just
yeah, they
Yeah.
just
go,
know
what do we
everything.
need? They just know.
yeah, it's
And he look when I get my crazy ideas, I'm like, I want this built. This is what I want. And Mr. Lerner will look at me like, I don't know what she's thinking, but then he does it.
yeah.
But because I just come up with the crazy ideas, and then he builds it. So
The
he
both
does
of
build
them.
it.
The both
I
of them are
couldn't
good.
do
So when
without
did you
him.
guys stop making teachers audition? I would like
That
to say
year? We never did.
So
never did.
so once you guys took over, that was it.
We were like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, Grease we did not, and then
No.
Wizard of Oz we did. That was the only one, I guess, because there was a parent involved in
Yeah.
that one, and then so
We figured if you wanted to do it, let's have
let's
fun.
just have you in there.
So we went Shrek. What followed up Shrek?
Actually, so Shrek was
No,
we
we did.
went like Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland,
Willy Wonka,
Willy Wonka, Aladdin,
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast,
We name it. We
And
can-
then-
Little Mermaid was in
Little
there.
Mermaid, and then probably Shrek,
Seussical.
Seussical, Lion King, Madagascar,
this.
And then Frozen.
and Frozen.
Did we miss any?
And we did Aladdin as a comeback because that was one of the first ones we did.
We didn't do Aladdin.
Yeah, we've done not twice. No, we have not. We've only done that one once.
We did one twice.
just Alice.
Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
Wow,
one
I'm
was
just
so
blown
much
away. Now did Dingle, not Dingle Hopper, it's
I'm
Dingle
sorry, Dingle Dine.
Dingle Dine. I mean, you call her Dingle. I was
I
like,
know,
I
we
mean,
did.
like,
We did call her
now was there a student production at the time, or was this
Yeah, it
something?
was pretty much supposed to be for the students, but let's be real.
Yeah.
We had so much fun that it just is. It's just too much fun. You know this.
So so this I felt being up on the stage this time, it felt like a smaller cast for us. Was it a smaller cast this time?
Maybe by 2.
And how has that grown? Like, have you had other years where it's just packed, or is this pretty much about what we get?
Started at Wizard of Oz. I can't remember how many were in Greece, but there were a significant amount of us. But then Wizard of Oz, there were 7 staff members, but then she used the kids as the
yeah.
munchkins. So there were only 7 staff members, and then we moved.
such a bonding.
Yes, it was hugely bonding. And then we probably were like in the high teens for a long, and then all of a sudden it was always in the 20s. So I think our biggest one was about 25 staff members, and this year we had 22. So maybe it didn't seem like that.
Yeah,
It 22.
It's a crazy experience, right? Because like I think basically we're all at first it felt like we were in a rowboat that had a hole, and so we were like, trying very hard to just keep paddling, you know.
Right.
And then all of a sudden someone plugged the hole, and we're like, we're floating, like this is amazing.
That's a really good analogy.
It felt so crazy, but you're so tight in that trauma of my gosh, we're about to be in front of all these people, and when you're up there, and it's like just such a solidifying community feel, and there's nothing like being backstage, like
I know.
those last two, like the show nights, it's just the craziest vibe when we're all getting ready and all that, and you're trying not to kill me while I'm trying to play music that appeals to everyone.
Oh my God. I was like, do not.
Was it like Air Supply or
well,
something like
and
that?
Christy got angry. I turned MMMBop off because people were asking for
You
that
don't
one to
turn
be
off.
off.
You
And
don't
I
turn
was just
that
trying to appease everybody. You know, there's a lot going on, but it's like one of those things that after everybody's gone out, like Bonham had never been in it before.
Right.
And this a lot. Like she's got littles, right? And she was in a lot of the play,
Yeah, she was.
ironically.
Oops.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone
Yeah.
we do that.
She was in a lot of the play, and she was very like it's intense, right? And so this whole season it was like intense, and then she got done that night, and she's like, I can't wait to do this next year.
Yeah,
like,
it's addicting.
It's so addicting, and
Yeah.
it's that, and I knew exactly how she felt because it's that feeling like this is incredible. It's so incredible, and it's partly because you get to work, you know, with people that you don't typically get to see. And it's just it's like going through a trauma together. It really is. Like, and so you have that commonality, you know. I don't know. So what have been some of the craziest things that you guys have experienced that you can share on air? Yeah.
We've had to clean up vomit. We've got weird stuff that makes it like gel.
Oh, nice.
That was some
Wait,
mess.
in the crowd or from your actors?
Oh no, like for actors, like for kids.
They get the nerves.
I think it was
No,
like.
well,
Oh,
no.
there was one. She had sausage for dinner.
And she ended up leaving. All the kids are backstage ready to perform, and I'm like, okay, well, you got to fill this void because she had lines. And you know, I'm proud to say we trained them so well. They were like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, and we didn't have to do anything because, as you know, when the kids perform, we're not back there anymore. It's completely 100% student run,
Right.
Because they have the guidance that they need with either mentor kids that are 8th graders or us. I mean, they just learn how to run the show. And this girl got sick pretty much as we're opening, and the other ones filled in, said her part. No, you couldn't even tell, not skipping a beat. You know, and that's hard, especially when you have, when you have somebody you have to dance right next to, and they have to be there or it messes you up.
Yeah, or lines. But so now when you played Horton, right?
Oh,
Great
We were
moments in
talking about
SV
the-
drama
so
history.
you got sick.
No.
I had.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So was that the closest you guys have had to like a main person go down before a show?
Yeah, I had
Because you had
strep throat.
no voice.
I had strep throat.
Yeah, you were real
She had
sick.
the
But-
glass. She was swallowing
Oh
the
my
glass.
gosh. And I think it was psychological because I was like, I can't do this. But
I kept going, you're doing it. You're on. You're
but
on.
it was
you
like
can do it.
really sick.
She had her
Yeah.
tissues up in her tree.
I had tissues. I had I'm not kidding. I had some note cards up there too.
You were so sick.
I don't remember doing it. But I know that we had Joe, who was the.
Ready. I remember Joe's.
He was
Joe is
not
the inspiration for me as a
excited.
teacher.
I
I love Joe in the hoodie.
Yeah,
I love that
always
kid.
is.
Yeah, I love that
He
kid.
was like, because he was straight up tech. And when he went, I was like, oh, I'm losing another good one. But
yeah.
because those tech kids are amazing.
They are.
I can't get over what you guys do with them. Like all of that. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over. You can jump
No.
in.
Now, with the drama program is like the biggest program that we have on our campus,
It's the
and
heart.
there's nothing like it on any other campus. When I tell people about the teacher play and how many kids are in drama, and they're like, "I'm like, drama's the thing to be. That's like the cool place." Like, and people are just like blown away. Now, how many kids do you have this year?
This year we actually have a smaller group than typical, but a couple years ago we ended up with like 60 some actors and 30-something
Yeah.
tech,
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
was
ridiculous.
90 kids. Was that
it
last
was-
year
it
or
was
2 years ago?
ago. And so I mean, although it was fabulously wonderful because there are a bunch of great kids, a lot of them could be in one number and that was it. And then they had to go sit in other rooms. So that made it unfun, I guess. I don't know, a little bit, because we like to give them as much opportunity. So then the next year, last year,
yeah.
we did cuts, which we've never done. We've always just accepted
We
everybody.
have to keep doing that.
So then we did that again. So this year we're sitting at about 23, 24 kiddos that are acting in it, and about 14, 15
Still
tech.
too many tech, but
So it's a small
them.
group, but they have the opportunity to be in lots of it, as like the staff was. So they can be in a lot of numbers, and they're really getting involved. And so even like the sixth graders that are, it's their first year, they're jumping into choreography. They're, I want to help. Can I do this song? So it's been beneficial.
Yeah.
Now, what about, it's got to be bizarro, but in the best possible way for you guys to see your kids and then see, like, okay, so Danny is a great example, right? He's pursuing theater in his, his real world life. And, you see all these kids at it, like Tyler's got the main role in this Matilda and Ridge, and like seeing so many kids because of the exposure that you guys give them, which is, an incredible, they're actually pursuing this, for years and years. That's got to be the most amazing feeling.
It's kind of fun. We
It
like
is.
to go and watch them,
It
too.
does. It gives me the
Yeah.
little goosebump things there. But just when you mentioned Tyler and Natalie, just in their play, that Shakespearean one or whatever, didn't know what to expect. Shakespeare. But it was a comedy, and the two of them who were in kindergarten together here were up on stage together, and it was profound. And so we actually do get a lot of like little pats on the backs from Nardone up at Ridge, because she says she can tell who a Sierra Verde kid is when they come to drama.
Well, yeah, I bet. That's nice. It's a good talent pool that you
Right.
guys are just feeding right into them, and like that play that I was talking about, they have, whether or not they are, getting technical skills, or it's not like you guys are breaking down that, but they have the confidence to get up there, and they have the stage presence, and there's so many things that you guys teach them that then they can just go from there, and they have those basics. And I couldn't get over watching them. Even like Brendan is a perfect example, because he found his voice here in the drama program with you guys. Yeah.
I think the penguin brought it out in him.
I agree. And you guys see, like, how do you figure out casting? Because sometimes you have to like
gifted.
stretch them. That's true.
It is
It's
one thing
tough,
we always
right?
go, because people go like, what? And we go, we know.
know
And
what
then
we're doing.
we may have made maybe one or two minor little.
In however many years.
What did we do? But for the most part, it works.
Yeah.
They do audition. I mean, yeah, and we do account for that. That is the biggest. That's the biggest factor in roles, really, because we've had sixth graders. A sixth grader played Cinderella, and she was new to school, and it was gaspy.
It was.
What? But I'm like,
Even
just
when
wait
we
till you
did
sing.
Ariel and
Yeah.
Ursula, they were sixth graders at the time.
Well, and like, remember how Soleil filled in for
Yes.
Rafiki?
Oh, yes.
And that girl didn't speak, like 5 words all year, and
We
she
just-
gets in there,
Yep.
And now she's up at Ridge, too.
And
in
she
Matilda.
just played Elsa
and she's tremendous.
in a play. Yeah.
Stage Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stage Dreams. Yep.
I mean, and she is like
Rocking
a
it.
showstopper, and her peers, like Ella, is very good friends with her, and she says, like, we hang out with Soleil every day, and she barely talks, and then you put her up on the stage, like my jaw like dropped when I saw her play Rafiki. That was who she was. That's the
Yes,
name of that, right?
that is correct.
That was the most amazing thing, and like, whew, and to the gift that you guys give middle school kids, like that confidence, and it's so family. So what we
It
get
is.
as a staff playing in that play, the kids get it like tenfold.
And
know?
you've seen like our wrap party or
Yes.
cast party at
It's
the
a
end, and
lot
you've
of
been
tears,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and we don't. I mean, like that's like kind of a closed thing,
It's
but
beautiful.
suffice to say that it's really. They do bond, and you realize things about kids that maybe you didn't know that they were going through. That the only thing that they had was drama practice and being with those kids, and you don't realize that until like they say it at circle.
Spilling their little guts out.
And they do. And yeah, you're right though.
They
like
trust.
but it's such a like a release, and part of it is like they're extremely fatigued, and so they're
sure. Oh, yeah.
emotional, right? And they're middle
up.
school kids, and so they're extremely emotional. But then all of a sudden it's just like something cracks open, and they have these like beautiful, tender moments. And it's a lot of feels. So I give you guys kudos because you've been doing that for a lot of
Now,
years.
where did the circle originate from?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, something that we just always
Yeah.
did.
Well,
So
I think
I
it
don't
started as 8th graders kind of saying goodbye. And then, of course, then everybody else wants to talk because
Yeah.
Everybody
So
else
that
wants
was
to talk.
it was originally because that's how they do it at the high school level. It's senior circle. So I think that's right. That's how it started. But then everybody needed the tissue box and they wanted a turn. So
Now, do you guys hold it together during this, or are you guys a puddle?
sometimes it just depends.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I heard the greatest quote from a student when they were like, "Oh, those are my friends over there," and then I was like, "And what about drama?" They're like, "Oh, that's different. That's family," and like, it's like, these are the things that you give the kids, and like you talked about this school, and like many times on the podcast, we've talked so much about how this is a different place, and like, people leave and they're just drawn in, they want to pull back there, and I'm sure you're working on Micah bringing them back, and it is a different place, and these kids, when they go on to the high school level, but it's these opportunities that you guys provide for these kids that really blows their mind, because if you go to a school like 3 or 4 kids might be in a Stage Dreams production, and
we
here
try to go to everything that we
do.
are invited to.
Absolutely. It's fun.
Well, you guys, the crazy thing is now, I don't know how you do casting because you have quite the talent pool.
Oh, and this was a rough one for sure.
I
There's so
mean,
much
even
talent.
just like 8th grade, right before we were recording here, the casting thing was going to be released for Junie B. And so like Olivia and Devin and all those girls, they had the app open, they're waiting. And like, those are some talented kids. Like there's so many just in 8th grade. So I don't know how you do it because it's gotta be rough.
It's tough.
Yeah, we kind of shut when we put up the thing, we like to kind of just look through the peek because it does, especially the first time. It was like you just want to cry because you're breaking some hearts.
Yeah, well,
We
you
don't
can't.
want to see disappointment, but then when we get together and they realize why everyone was given their part and why they might have been given the part that we gave them, then it all comes together and they get their confidence. It's not such a downer because, sure, everybody wants a certain part. Not everybody can have it. Not everybody can be Elsa. Not everybody can be Anna,
What's your favorite play that you have done? Like that you've acted in, and then is it the same one that is your favorite play that overall?
I would have to say one of my all-time favorite parts was Tinkerbell. I did love being that. I don't know that Peter Pan might have been the all-time favorite. Gosh, I don't know. I have a lot of fun in all of them.
I loved watching the kids do Shrek so much. To me, that was, even though we had some mic issues, some
that's
feedback,
right.
I loved watching them in that. I don't know why. That was just, and I loved being Donkey, but I also liked, Donkey, I would say. For
Donkey
both.
would be fun.
I
Donkey
really
was
liked
fun.
watching you as Donkey.
Yeah.
That was quite amusing.
And Olaf, I don't know. That Olaf's a close second there because just...
I had stuffing issues.
But you you were completely on the whole time.
The only thing that was hard, and I would imagine maybe this is why Olaf doesn't come to your mind, is like you didn't get to mentally be Olaf until right that show week.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you didn't really get to be your part because
That's true.
you were helping all of us try and like get our stuff together.
And in fact, making
And
sure
so,
they knew what they were doing.
you did not really get to fully like step into that character until show week, and so I think that that's harder because all of us are trying to like become our thing, and and it was a little bit different this year.
Now, what's the difference between working with teachers and adults versus the kids?
Not big. The kids have their choreography together.
Hashtag truth.
It's hard to, especially like with Shelly in it, and I'm when I'm trying to like give it's hard to, I don't know, to tell your colleagues what to do or get them quiet. That is hard.
That's interesting because you have no problem screaming at us saying,
I know.
"Stop talking."
I do.
But you know that's her job.
No,
That's her
that
job.
is 100% her job.
my heart, but I'll
and
do it
then
again.
when Janet was there show week and she was the heavy,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh thank God she's so, like, and like you just did not hold back. You're like, this isn't gonna work, and you need to do better. It's Englerth and Schofield. Why do you have cue cards up there?
And I was
It's
so
true. They're pulling it out of your pockets.
yeah.
It's Monday. I'm
I
like,
know,
the show's
no,
in like
and
3 days.
and it was good. We needed the tough love. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, it was like it took us a while, but then we
You know,
rallied.
everything comes together, and it's our baby, and it reflects
It
on
really
us.
is.
So we are like, okay, you guys got to shape up because this reflects the two of us in our program. But it always does, and it's same thing for the kids. But in comparison, the kids do everything themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're pretty much there facilitating. She'll do the drawings and things like that, but then it's
Right.
it's farming them out to do what they want. And same with the kids right now, it's choreography. It's all they're learning, and they take it on. We want this song, and we're out there to sit and watch. Now, if something
some of us do
is
choreography and get poo-pooed.
well, you poo-pooed me first. So, but in the end game, if there's something that we go,
Yeah.
boring, which is
Oh,
usually
yeah, I
her
do
words on stage,
say boring
then
a
we
lot.
we'll tweak it a little bit for the students. But right now, what they're showing us, it's all great.
It really is.
Now for like on Saturday, so like the play, you go the Thursday, Friday run. People are just begging for more. They're like, give us more. We need a full week of shows. Now on that Saturday, are you just like, is it just like come pouring out, or is like your focus already shifted towards the kids play, or?
But it's kind of funny you say that because it'll be like all the staff, what are we doing next year? We're still on this year because we have a student play to do. And actually that actually happened because I'm like, okay, now I need to get with it with the costumes for the students. So now here I am with spreadsheets and things like that.
And I know what we have to finish for props and lighting and that kind of stuff. Or
And
not
painting.
props. You're doing props, painting.
Painting.
And set and that.
Now your heart, like where's your heart sit? Do you side like with the actors, or is like the tech because like they're through you? Are you like?
I love them all, but my techies are my life.
Well, you had a crazy group this year. They were phenomenal.
Phenomenally crazy. Yeah,
Phenomenally good.
Yes.
During
they
show
were.
week, they're just walking in, like Schofield's like, rough night last night, and they just had the biggest smile on their face,
Yeah.
and they
And
were
And
just like,
they get to see us in a different light. And
Yeah.
it's good for the kids, and it's good for us to have them. I mean, they're all backstage singing and
Yeah, they were.
dancing. Nick, he's all back there
You
dancing
know,
right in the walkway.
But we use this as their opportunity to learn where most of the props and the sets are going to go when they're switching scenes. So really, this is their run through. Our show, the staff show, is their run through.
Yeah, that's
far
true.
as that goes.
Nick was so cute, but they're invested in that play because when, like, you remember the little things that the kids were doing in the second night, where the kids were yelling out like a puddle, or
Yeah,
like,
I know who
yeah,
those
yeah,
kids
yeah.
are
and
too.
then Nick would be like, oh my gosh, like behind the stage, he's all excited. Or when they would sing, he would be like, they're singing. Like he was
Yeah.
so invested, and like they care so much about that. We had Bailey and Isabella Perry, but we had Bailey on the podcast for last week, and that girl's got nerves of steel because
Yeah, she
that
does.
is a tough job,
Yeah.
a tough job, and we barely got to practice, like really, and man, she picked up.
And we've got a 6th grader on lights up there, and he's flickering those things like 100%.
Lights were so good.
Yeah,
They were so good, and it can't like you had some hiccups with that, right? Because didn't your lights stop working right before show, and you guys
Those
had to
were
get new ones?
spotlights.
Oh,
Spotlights. That's
yeah,
a whole
right.
different
So that's a whole
ball
different
game.
set.
Yeah, and those two girls back there are.
rocked it.
I taught Lauren last year. Was her first year on spot. I didn't even. She picked up like it was last week.
We love
and
her.
just
Lauren will.
taught Lucy what to go. I'll probably lose Lucy to acting or softball or I don't even know.
She's so cute.
But I always do. Then we end up having to find more. But hopefully we have lights and sound set for next year too, because that's a rough job. And all of those kids back there. And then having to keep the kids quiet in the audience and making sure no one's filming because we got undercut contractual obligations.
So
I love when
this
it
is not the
breaks
$5 script we're talking about.
Right. This is not.
Far from that. Now we go with the company
Yeah,
that
we've
sets
learned.
us the whole kit.
Now, moving forward, what is like your big BHAG for the drama program? Like, what is like your
What is that word?
I'm
big,
I'm like,
hairy, audacious goal?
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, let's be
Winning the lottery and building our own auditorium.
Have you guys talked about like, has anybody ever like sat down and like talked about like a plan to help expand this? Because it's the heartbeat of our school.
we were on a track for that, and then
Yeah,
people
things kind of
changed their jobs
shifted.
and
Yeah.
things like that. So it was shifted because there was going to be some different kind of sound system things where the mics would feed in and they would already be there and we wouldn't be hanging
That's our
things.
biggest-
So that would be our biggest nemesis
Yeah.
probably. Which we probably need new mics at this point anyway. They're a little bit old, but and it's hard. It's a stage. It's a cafeteria. It's
Right.
so the sound. You don't have the walls.
Started
like
with spaghetti dinners,
No more
like
spaghetti dinners.
and
we actually
vinyl
went to-
siding fall.
we actually went to-
Insulation.
No cake. No more
Yeah,
cake.
okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, we need to talk about how did the no cake happen?
I came under some fire. I was on
happened?
an
I
announcement.
always it's always me going to order and do, and it just went on the wayside at this point.
Oh, I should
A
have
lot
stepped
of
in.
well, there was a lot of stepping in, and it just felt like that at this point. It was. Well, let's make a little bit more. Shelley wanted us to raise our prices to $10 a ticket. So let's.
We're not $10 worthy.
No, we're
I
not
don't.
10
Well, maybe we are.
We're 6, and
Well, if
then
we had
we'll
the
keep
spaghetti
it, we went
dinner,
6.
you
right,
know?
But that was $10. But then we had to pay for spaghetti,
Yeah.
so the profit margin was a
Yeah.
little bit lower.
Yeah.
But we were very successful with concessions. Very successful because we just paid for cake. And so that came out of our budget. And so now we didn't. Yes, we bought the concessions, but it was profitable.
And having to buy new sound equipment, mics it's going to
It's
be.
huge. Yeah, it's costly. So.
All right, Mr. Galletti, the Falcon, if you're listening, it's time for you to swoop in.
Swoop in.
Swoop
We
in. And
got on stage somehow, not by our doing.
I
Somehow we
did.
ended up on stage.
should we address
Little
this?
surprises.
I did.
Should we address the
I
elephant?
did mention to Mr. Lane that I was lightly scolded for bringing Galletti in on. I thought it was already a set thing.
It was going to be. But
Yeah, I
then
felt-
on Monday he was like, "Yeah, I'm not so sure." So I wasn't going to press it. But even Thursday night after
hey,
the
we
show,
wing it.
yeah, we wing it. After
He
the
was
show, I'm like,
great.
"You could have been up there," and he goes, "Yeah, next year for sure." That's what I got. Then all of a sudden I got, Mr. Coletti's coming. He's going to be on stage. I'm like, nobody told me. Nobody told me. What the heck? What's going on? Changing up our scene.
But man, it was so cool to
It
see him go
works.
It
out
did.
there,
It
and
works.
I love that you're not gonna just pop him into the one thing. You're like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And we're gonna pull Shelly from this, and we're gonna move this, and we're gonna make this happen. It was like that fast that you switched all that, and it was such a cool thing when they came out together. I
Right.
really liked
It was.
that. You know,
That's good. That's good for the school.
You
Yeah.
did feel pretty bad, though.
I
You're
did.
like,
Only because we're like, what? What is happening?
You know, I'm not good with details. I just thought everybody's on the same
Well,
page.
because
but-
I'm like, where is this scene? You got to get back there. And then he stood back there for, I don't know, about 15 minutes before his scene actually came up. Because I
mean,
I don't know where it's at.
I don't think I've ever seen someone more like a deer in headlights back there, too. He was really quite nervous. But then when he went out there, I was just like, I think he got a
And the
taste of
second
it.
time, he actually is like, to Stephanie, how hard can I shove you? And she's like, no, just a little shove. So he was feeling it after the
found
first
it.
time.
He got bit by the bug.
Yeah, he did. And it is really fun. And I do love that you guys have so many, like, you have the admin worked into that. And, like, it's cool because it's all the way from our front of our school, the office, and then all the way through.
Which is why it's a staff show and not a teacher show. It used to be
Yeah.
a teacher show, and now it's a staff show.
You guys are so good
Staff
about
family
that.
show, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, it is such a blast.
that's truly amazing.
So, Mr. Lane, next
Well,
year.
I've been waiting.
Possibly.
I've sent my diva demands. I said I need my solo. I need to sing a solo. I am the world's worst singer, but I will get
put
up
you on.
there.
Oh, au contraire. I still go up there and belt it out, and I know what I sound like.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if
just
I
have
if
fun.
I got a solo and I could go sing there, I would be there in a heartbeat. But
We're holding them to this.
Okay.
what would you like to see us do
You've
next year?
already told us.
I'm going through this whole like High School Musical phase, like the series, and
I
man,
keep hearing that one
you
too.
know, like, and for my daughter, it's
fan.
just, you know,
I do.
not a
like-
fan.
do
I
like High
think,
School
I
More
mean,
than
that's,
Mary Poppins, though.
How
You would
can-
like it more than Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
well, that goes to the next thing. How do you guys keep it
Yeah.
under wraps? You know, I know Schofield is kind of loose lips sink ships. Like,
I don't.
you know,
I tell you
like,
guys, don't
the
tell me
kids,
until we're
like,
ready to prep you.
The
the
No.
first
We
day
don't
they
tell
come
you,
back to school, they're hounding you. They're hounding you for like
They were hounding us
Over the summer?
rap. Yeah, they were hounding us backstage.
Oh wow! So now, how do you guys even hold together without snapping at the kids?
I guess we're
and be like,
just
one
used
more
to
kid.
We're used to it.
Yeah.
Well, the kids
It's
aren't
the-
the problem.
it's
It's the
the
adults.
adults.
It's the
Yeah.
teachers.
It
We're
is.
we're awful.
Uh-huh.
I don't ask because you make it sound like I'm a snitch or something. But I get so excited and then I just like
Yeah.
I share things and I'm like, oh, I thought we were all like this. I thought we all knew Galetti was coming on. So but how do you decide what you want to do? Like, how do you pick? So when you go, is there like these are the plays that are open? Like, how do you what's this world like?
We stick with the same company,
Okay.
MTI, and we see
Shout
it's
out,
available. For
name
them.
dropping.
Shout out.
Can I do that?
Discount.
Yeah, you can. They need a sponsor for their mic.
So we stick with them now because they have the entire kit. Mm-hmm. We don't have to worry about it. But we're kind of running low on.
We look at what's available, but we've done a lot now, which is why we redid one. But then things just pop up. Like we were set on something else, and then all of a sudden, right before we were ordering a few years ago, it was probably the end of August.
Yeah.
Boom! Little Mermaid's available September 5th or something like that. And we were like, because we knew it was on our list of what we would like to do if it popped up. So then we just changed our mind as to what we were originally going to do,
Oh.
which that year I don't even remember what we were going to do.
I don't know, but we didn't mention we did Lion King too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I do believe.
Did we?
That was one of my
It's all
favorites.
muddy.
Dina keeps saying her fingers are crossed for Tangled.
But
That
that's
is
not
not
available.
available.
See,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Is a lot of people go, let's do this one, but you got to go look on the site and see what's available.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts about our wrap party? Like we
was a
changed
great
our
place.
location. It was
That
fun,
I love
right?
that place.
Tons of fun. It was much better than the previous.
Now, has the rap party been something that's always been?
We've done it for many years. Maybe the first year we went pre-party. No, but we have always
We were a little nervous.
For appetizers.
We were nervous. I think we started and we didn't really do costumes, and then it just became a thing where you went out in your costume and
I did not this year. I was sweating.
but you had your hat.
Just
There's
sweating.
nothing.
It's just fun.
Summer.
I mean, like people are like, "What's going on?" And then we sing, and
No, there's nothing better when we walk in. People are confused for a second.
Yeah.
Like, how long have I been here and
Yeah.
what is happening? Like, I love that feeling. And then the guys that were there this time and how they were shouting out
out hoots.
requests. Yeah.
they were. So
I try to
fun.
recruit them to help me.
I mean, the vibe in that place. And it was such a
was
small
fun.
venue.
small and relaxing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
such a small
It's a great
venue, and
place.
they were very welcoming. And I think that was the thing for us, is we wanted to feel like
We weren't
okay.
in the
yeah.
way. Yeah.
And they were just so wonderful for all of us.
Because we're not for everyone.
No, that could be my life motto. Let me tell you.
They have been kicked out of Dairy Queen with the
Yeah, the
students.
kids-
Oh yeah,
That's
talk
a-
about that. Talk
Yeah.
about that. So,
So-
there's the tradition. Go ahead.
There are traditions for the students. Where on Friday night after that show, we go to Dairy Queen, and it started fun, fun, and then all of a sudden the kids start singing, and it was fun for a few years, and then one time we neglected to say we were coming, and it was one of our bigger groups, and so they were a little short-staffed, and then they were not appreciative of the singing, and they kind of made us go outside.
But that didn't stop us.
But that didn't stop us, and they've always been very welcoming since. So
Yeah.
now we make sure we call. Hey, guess what?
We
Sierra Verdi's
apologize.
coming, and they're done with this show. So we do that. That's a Friday night tradition, and then Saturday night is the rap
So Dairy
party.
Queen is part of our tradition.
It is.
Oh, and that place is packed.
It
I mean,
Yeah.
it is. And
In fact, actually, the high schoolers that were helping us, that were in our drama program, they were helping us that night to
Mm-hmm.
help strike our set, and they went to Dairy Queen
Aw.
when we went to our.
That's so sweet.
That's really
They
Yeah.
went to Dairy Queen.
All the feels. I mean,
And then we used to a couple of times for the cast party after the Saturday show. We've gone to houses Remember we had like a pool party somewhere once.
that-
Then we decided that we would just be like locked in.
Oh yes, here.
Yeah.
Yes. Where did we go?
I don't know.
I do like
Just
the locked
easier
in
here.
thing.
The
It
locked
is.
in thing is
Yeah.
very
We're gonna
nice.
toy with an 11 o'clock instead of midnight because why do we do that? We're so exhausted by
We're
that time.
so exhausted.
I'm like,
And
all
they
these
are.
kids crying.
Yeah.
It is just the coolest
them
thing.
home
But
to
like,
their parents.
it is all of those little traditions like that add up. And it was really nice having Micah come out with us this year.
Yeah,
that was really,
nice.
really nice. It just, it's those things
Hans.
that just, Hans.
He was
I wonder if I
amazing.
could shout out to him really quick because he's videotaped for us for many years.
Yeah,
many
Iris
years.
Productions.
Sometimes Iris Productions, and sometimes we can pay him. and
Subscribe on
sometimes
YouTube.
We can't. And so this year, at the very beginning of the year, this season, he had said his equipment and things like that, it might not be compatible or whatever with what he has now. So if we could find someone else, that would be great. But if we can't, we will use him. And we did send emails out to the drama folks, and we just didn't have anything coming out or coming back that either knew somebody or could do it. So he's like, yes, I'm in. And so he did. But do you think I could read this?
Of course,
go ahead.
yes.
I think it's really good. So I got a text on Saturday. So Saturday, February 8th at noon. So our show was, we were out till 11
Yeah.
the night before.
I was tired.
And just said I was thinking about the future of my Iris Productions with recording the play, and I realize I am the best option for us. Someone else would be too costly, and I won't get to enjoy editing it later. I humbly submit my pledge to do my best at being your video guy, if you will have me.
We love some Micah.
Man.
I don't know why. It makes me a little emotional.
A little emotional. I did too, and I meant to forward that on, but I was like, oh my gosh. And shout out to Tammy Zellis too, if I could do that,
Oh,
because she was in the
yes.
same boat, and I'm like, I got no one.
Can you tell like what she does for us?
She's our photographer, and so when we had Maddie, her daughter, obviously, she was willing, let me do this, and photography business is, it's not a cheap thing. All that videography and photography, and a same thing for her. If you don't have anybody, please let me know. And we didn't have our parent meeting till January this year, so it was a little tighter quarters. And when I didn't get anything within a week, I'm texting her going, I got no one. And she's like, remind me of the dates. And I told her, and she's like, I'm there. And she doesn't want anything. She doesn't expect anything from us. She does it because she says, you and Mr. DeSalle, I just love, and I will do anything for you guys. So
Well, and she comes, and it's dress rehearsal night, and so we are a mess, right? We're a mess, and so it's like herding cats. And then finally, she's like, we try and respect her time, and then she's taking picture after picture, and it's like all these individuals and then the cluster people like this family and these Elsas and whatever, and it's a long time, and then to get us all on in our group picture and get that just right, because then you guys get those printed out, and I'm really excited that you guys let us print out the kid ones, and I will
was a
continue
beautiful thing,
to do that for you guys
which
in
you
the
both need to
future.
sign, by the way. They're in my box.
Okay, yeah.
Oopsies.
But can you just sign Christy once, and then it'll be good enough for
We'll be
both
like,
of us?
yeah,
Because you're signing the character
I know,
name.
yes, I know. Well, what was cute is I came out as the king, and then how I didn't want to go out to dinner, afterward as the king. I wanted to wear my ski lodge outfit, so it was really cozy. And so I came out in that because I'm trying to corral all of you guys. Like, okay, let's go. It's time. And these kids came running up, and they're like, we need your autograph. And I said, oh, I signed it. And they're like, well, you weren't in that costume then, and now you're a different character, so we need that character. And I was like, okay. So it's so cute. It was adorable.
Still wondering how your sash got in the lost and
I
found.
don't know. I must have been.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I had a lot of stuff I was carrying. I must have dropped it. I
I
don't
was in
even
the
know.
lost and found.
That
with
is
all of the
hilarious.
kids'
I
stuff.
love
Yeah.
that story.
I know. I don't know how that happened, but I do have all my costume. I will be donating so that you guys have. I love that you
I
have.
have to make a new one
We
for
actually
my
need
Olaf.
to give all of the staff kudos because they do go out and they spend their own money on part of the costumes. We try what we can. Again, this year a little different, but so they spent a lot of their own money on it, but yet they're willing to just hand it over to the student show.
It's so wonderful.
Well, I love your
that
shed.
rather
You know,
than
it's
the
awesome
sheds.
because there's so many things that I know it's kind of a hot mess, but you know, it's filled with treasure. You
It
know,
is filled with
and,
treasure.
and
Would you like
memories
to
and.
look at that treasure and organize?
We've
No,
actually
no,
a little
no,
bit
you
of
know,
help organizing
we all know
it.
our strengths and our weaknesses, and I gotta tell
There's
you,
a
I'm
lot
not
of
a.
people in that shed.
Well, my favorite is like when I'm walking by it and tech crew's out there and it's like, Rudacell said it's in here, and they're like literally going through it. They're like Mr. Lane, like, do you see this? And I just keep walking, like I'm like good luck, tech.
Well, shout out to you too for at least finding or allowing our our costume rack to not get thrown away.
I did save that. I was pretty
thank
proud
you.
about
They
that.
did
You
save it, and
know,
then I see it out here going, I think that's ours. It's under a green screen.
you came after me. I'm like I know it's yours, and I told you the story there.
So then I was
Well, no,
thankful.
you were so cute too on the first show night. You're like, we just have folding tables and they're all gone. I was like, oh, I know where those are.
It's like, I'll be back. How many do you need?
Yeah, I was
Not
like,
three?
I'll be right back. Yeah, so
All
that
my
was,
student projects are sitting on them right now. All this clutter
It's a
there.
beautiful thing.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just blown away. Now, the one question I just need to know is, were you guys actresses in school? Like, is this something like that just like came to you later in life?
Till Greece at this school, did I not do any? I did not.
I did in high school. Tried in college, but that was humiliating.
Again, I wish we had footage.
But look at me now.
You're a star.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's.
I always
England.
had the desire to do it, but never. Like in my bathroom, I would sit and like talk to Johnny Carson in the mirror and stuff like that. But that's about as far as it went. But
I mean, when
I
you
do
get
plays with my family, brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
things like that.
I would make them. And this one family had they had a few kids, and so like there were 5 of us and like 4 of them, and I was a little older, and they had this dining room where the doors kind of pocket doors, so they'd come open, and I'm like,
Yes.
we're doing a play.
just because of
So,
the doors, you
yes,
felt that you needed to honor
yes.
them in that
and
way.
so it was some sort of Easter thing, and I had like
Yes.
they had like bunny noses, and I don't know. I made everybody watch. All of the parents watch. I don't know.
That sounds. Now, when you get someone like Steph, do you just
Oh,
go,
my.
"Oh my
Or
gosh,"
Max.
Or Max,
or Max?
right?
Yes,
Or
Oh, my
anyone,
gosh.
because we love you all.
Yeah, no, I know, but
Thank
you know,
Yeah.
we all know. We all know.
The jaw
Okay.
drops. I mean, the first
bit
time
like-
Max opened his mouth, we were like,
We didn't
Yes.
act anymore. We were like,
Yeah.
okay, what?
I know. It's just so
Definitely.
crazy
headpiece.
because
That
they.
headpiece.
"Oh, right."
I think then parents forget that we are all of the rest of us are just
Amateurs.
regular,
Yeah, just
people.
citizens, right?
Yeah.
And then like Stephanie, like, you know, and Max when he did, I mean, it's that crazy next level. And so then you just kind of think like, we just all stand behind them.
But she wants to be a part of this. That's the beautiful
It's
thing.
the
too.
coolest.
That's so cool.
Well, and you guys realize, I think it must have been when she was a flower that you're like, hold up, I think there might be something
It was
in this
last
one.
year.
Yeah.
Madagascar.
Well, but
The
she was a
flower?
flower for
Oh, in
Alice in
Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland,
Remember,
yeah.
she was
But
hilarious.
She was.
was.
And like as far as
And a
personality,
penguin.
which
Yes.
is
Oh my
why we
gosh.
put her in Penguin for personality, but then she sang something and we were like,
Yeah. Because none of us
Question.
knew.
no, I think she held back when she was a flower a
Yeah.
little bit.
But that was when we were like, this is kind of a funny person. Like, she
right.
was
We got to
crazy.
know her
And such a
personality.
small part, and she was bigger, you know, larger than
And you
life.
never get to, you would not get to know these people.
Yeah.
These great people had it, if it wasn't for this, because, you know, you're all in your kindergarten. Well, I know you because we're up
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
hood up here. But,
That's right.
you know, just everybody on all the different grade levels and all the different everything that everybody does. It's so great to spend that bit of time
Yeah.
with people that you don't see.
Well, and for the parents to see a different side of us, and for the kids to see a different side. And like, I always love, and I'm sure you're the same way, is like, we're so isolated in our little pod. So anything that we get to do with the younger kids, I always love that, because otherwise, all they see you is way over there, and you're
Yeah.
like 6th or 8th grade teacher. And I don't want them to be like, I don't want to be an unknown entity until that time. I want them to be like waiting for them to get us, you know?
I don't know. I'm just blown away. I went to 2 birthday parties on Saturday, the night after the Friday show, and just all the parents are just so glowing. And you talk about the school as a family and it's a community, and talk about how much that people give. And everyone has a story about this. And I just love it because, my kids have been going to the play every year. It's just such a tradition in our family since, this little guy sitting over here nice and quietly. Another appearance by Ryan on the podcast.
This is the best one by far.
Since he was 2, and it's just, my daughter saw you today, and she's just like, I can't wait to be in drama, and she's in 3rd grade, and
And we hope kids like that don't lose that by the time they get up there.
Yeah.
That they still have the love for that.
But what you do for kids, I mean, what you do in the classroom is amazing. No one's ever going to forget that. But, what you do for this community and, outside and that family that you create for those kids, like, that's what stays with them forever. And, we are so lucky to have you on our campus and what you mean for this community.
It's true, because I got to tell you, we run clubs after school too. And I know what it feels like to end the day and be so tired and think, oh my gosh, we have this. And like you do it.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty much almost the entire year. And that takes serious dedication. And like, we don't always know where that energy is going to come from, but the fact that you guys do it, and the teachers, we're all done. And like you said, you're not done. Like you guys are all halfway done, And so that is huge props to both of you for what you guys do for all of us. And then for the whole.
And we'll see the energy in them now, because watching all of their staff members, the teachers that they have, it kind of lights a little spark under them, and they get super excited right after the staff show.
Well, Sam was like, I was saying to Micah that he and Dina like inspired him so much. He's like, I liked this about their choreography. I'm going to take this, and I feel like this is a little boring what we've been doing, and I feel like it's just so predictable. So I want to do this, and he was just like totally inspired by that. Yeah, it's super cool.
The A.A. Arundel
That
joke.
was oh, Micah was so delighted about that joke.
It was great.
Do you know when he delivered that at Show Week, he said to me, I was thinking about doing this. Do you think I should? And I was like, that's hilarious. Do it. Go up there and do that. And then I had my headphones in because I was doing announcements and I was editing. And he came over to the table and just stood there and stared at me. And I was like, what's up? And he goes, well, I delivered my line and you were supposed to watch and you missed the whole thing. And he goes, I delivered it and you're just looking down. And I'm like, sorry. And so then everybody gave him such positive feedback about that line, and they said, do it in the play, and he was so delighted. All of his little extra stuff. Oh my gosh, hilarious! I tell you,
need to find some green M&Ms. He requests them every year.
Oh my gosh, let's do that.
I need to find.
We
just
can
green
at Christmas. They sell little trailers, and we can shove a bunch of green M&Ms into one, and we could give that to him as a gift. I'll help you work on that. Yeah, I'm gonna look for that. Yeah.
No.
And we don't do 3. We don't do 3 days. No.
Yeah.
People wanted to after a couple years ago. Let's do
I know,
Saturday.
but I'm like, go with your families, people.
Now,
Remember their names.
we got to give a quick plug here to your fantasy club. I mean,
Oh, Lord.
give us a quick 60 seconds on your fantasy club.
No, it's
The
just
kids are-
gaming club.
Okay,
Gaming
that's
club.
what I was
It's
gonna
just
say.
awkward.
It is awkward. I won't lie, it is awkward.
It's basically turned into a Dungeons and Dragons situation where last night, we'll see, so I do that every Monday till 6. And
Yeah,
last
like
night,
you don't even end it at 5. This
No.
goes to 6.
well, because you're
I know.
playing
You can't
D&D,
finish it.
man,
Yeah.
right? So there were 4 games going. There's 4 games going every other Monday, and then the other Monday there's 2, because some of them that are DMing want to also be their dungeon master. They're the one playing.
I don't. Gotcha.
I
wouldn't.
learned, I
Yeah.
didn't. I learned
Yeah.
it from you.
So then they also want to play a game. So I didn't want to really DM. I just wanted to kind of lead it, but so many people wanted. And the more you've got to have small groups, or it's just not fun. And then the rest play like Switch. So I'm excited about your club because I'm hoping that some of the kids that do Monday will be like, oh, I'll do that, and then it'll just be total D&D instead of like everything, because it's so loud in there until those kids leave, which is at 5:45.
Yeah.
No, 4:45. I don't know.
You've
They
been
stay for an
wanting
hour.
it to be separate.
Just
Yeah.
but there's so, you've
want-
seen there's
I
so
know.
many that I'm not turning them away.
I know. I can't believe the crowd you have this year.
Oh my
It
gosh.
seems huge. Like it's huge. But it's an amazing thing because those kids need that. Like they
Yeah,
need your
there's
club.
a need for it.
Yeah.
So thank you. because there's so many of them. So why would I'm not going to turn them away because they need it, right? And they're actually interacting with each other rather than just like at home and turning on their Xbox.
That's what we keep saying.
That's what we've been talking about. And like, I think that just speaks volumes to you. You're like, I want to stop it, but I just can't. Like, and you know, it's so impactful for the kids.
And it is fun when you're there and you like figure out, like when you're playing the game and they have to strategize. Is that really a word?
Yeah,
though?
strategize. Yeah, it is. I don't even teach ELA, but I feel confident.
It's in the new math curriculum.
No matter. And they have to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And just to hear how creative that they can get with like how they're going to get out of certain situations, it's a hoot. No, it really is a hoot.
You have an amazing group in there. I just saw them yesterday getting in there, and I'm like, bless Rudisell's heart. Like these kids are just so geeked up, and they're so ready to go. And
I'm so geeked up.
Yeah.
So
well, you walk in there, I'm like, what are you doing?
I know.
They're like, watch this, and I'm like, okay. No idea what you just did.
But they're so, you're right though, but they know that stuff. You guys do so much.
Well, we're going to end this podcast. We're breaking our rule, going over 60 minutes.
Oops.
You know, as we say, people, if you can be anything, you be kind. And keep changing the world like Mrs. Rudisell Hunter and Mrs. Surjack.
That's right.
If you like listening to stories like that, don't forget to subscribe. Every Tuesday, the latest episode of The Nailed It Wall will be downloaded to your phone. Now, if you're like us and you love hearing stories how puke is cleaned up by gel, or hear the inside story of the SV Drama Department, make sure you follow us on Twitter. You can find me at Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And me at A Positive Proton.
We would be via email.